Movies filmed in our area brought in $46 million to the local economy. That's the bottom line, according to the Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Film Commission and the University of Cincinnati Economic Center. The three major projects that filmed here, motion pictures Carol and Miles Ahead and the A&E show Renovation Row, also created 4,000 jobs directly or indirectly. Now, all of that sounds rosy, but it is important to dive into these numbers a little bit deeper. Business Courier reporter Chris Wederick did just that, and he joins editor Rob Dawmeyer in the studio to tell us what he found. Chris and Rob.
Peg, thank you. Chris, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I'm just getting done crying from your story about Hollywood and movies, and we just had Kate Blanchett was just filming a scene right outside our office this summer. She actually looked at me. It was a great day for me. You're telling me, however, that these subsidies that Hollywood gets to make movies in places like Cincinnati don't always make sense. So talk a little bit about the two sides of the coin here.
Well, we looked at the numbers in the study that the University of Cincinnati Economic Center put out, and it's not that there isn't an economic impact, and it's not that it's not great, but a lot of we measure these things in two different ways. One is how much money is spent with businesses, how much is spent, in restaurants and hotels and, all the ancillary businesses that make money from these movies. But we also look at it in terms of the government gave out a certain amount of money to get these productions here. Did the government get that tax money back? And the answer is no, and it's almost universally no across the country. So we're not unusual in this. We were kind of late. Ohio was kind of late to the game in terms of, doling out these tax credits to these film companies that come in. And there's an alert to it, but the fact of the matter is, when you look at the investment, it doesn't stand up when it's compared to an investment like the streetcar or the Martin Luther King Jr. I-71 interchange. Those are projected to put the money that the government spends right back into its coffers after the project is built and stuff starts sprouting up around it.
Yeah, I mean, emotional votes or emotional decisions, case in point, 10 years ago with the Bengals stadium and the Red Stadium, that didn't make a whole lot of financial sense at the time. It makes a whole lot less financial sense now, but that was not the way people made that decision. They just wanted their team.
They want their team.
Yeah, and I think the same thing is at work here. It is surprising a bit that, we're a Republican-controlled state. Republicans not known for throwing their money around, also not the best friends of Hollywood.
Right.
So it is a bit interesting.
It's good. It's totally ironic. I mean, the Hollywood, the fundraisers, the people in California who raise money, they almost exclusively do it for Democrats, and they kind of look with contempt on Republicans. I mean, this is a political party that has talked about violence and sex in movies and criticized what these guys are doing. So it is funny that they're throwing money at Hollywood, and Hollywood is coming in, and everyone's kind of excited about it. And the film community will point out that when these films come to Cincinnati, there are people in the community with experience, doing jobs behind the camera, that are not making millions of dollars, and those people are employed, and that's a good thing. And they really do hope that something permanent can kind of sprout up around this whole thing. And they may be right, but they have to realize that, I think 40-some other states are trying to do the exact same thing.
Right. Well, it's a great story, and thanks for being here this morning.
No problem.
Peg, back to you.
All right, thanks, Rob and Chris.